Hi, my name is Casey. I'm the social media and event coordinator here at Pangaea.
Hello, I'm Will, the assistant brewer here at Pangaea.
Hi, I'm Charlie, head chef at Pangaea. Why don't you come inside, check it out with us.
Folks, welcome on into the show. Not in the Midland studio as per usual. Your host, Nutmeg 2.0. You can't get rid of me that easily. I'm hanging out at Pangaea, a place I'm quite familiar with. Often people say it's the West End, but it's not really the West End. It's kind of.
It's kind of. I think it's more defined as the South Side or Southern Side. I think that's what this general area is called. The Southern Side. But
this is, of course, as you just saw, Will. He is the assistant brewer here at Pangaea. Steve's out of town, so the inmates get to run the asylum for this episode of feature on Pangaea Brewing Company.
I'm the man. I'm the man this week, while Steve has an absolute blast.
So tell me a little bit about, be the company man right up front. Tell me a little bit about the Pangaea brand and why you, because I've seen you a little bit on the social media channels, but I haven't seen you around the tap rooms and the few times I've been in. So you knew, when did you get brought on board?
Well, I came on board April 11th of this year. So from then on, I've just been kind of learning the new system. I learned brewing on a very smaller system, a two-barrel system, practically home brewing on steroids. But then throughout the time here, I've learned the new system, and now, as you can see, Steve's not here, so Steve's obviously comfortable with me, running the show, as it were. But if you've seen me on the TikTok or the Instagram of Pangaea, I'm a rising star on the social medias. But so
got those flowing Hollywood locks.
Oh yeah, of course. But so Pangaea, the entire premise behind Pangaea, and the reason why it's called Pangaea is Pangaea, for those that are not in the know, is or was rather the super landmass, the supercontinent, when all the continents were together in a huge mass. So that's kind of the goal, not necessarily to force the continents back into this shape, but much rather to bring people together one beer at a time. So that's what we do, or that's what we attempt to do, anyway.
Forget proximity, forget all those oceans in between. We're still people, and get them all back as if we were on the same piece of land.
No, exactly. If I can connect with somebody by them drinking, a beer that we make here, that's enough for me, really.
So there's some things different about the tap room. The first time I was here, this front section we're sitting in was just a couple more picnic tables for seating area, and it was a little darker. Now there's a lot of light coming in, and there's this big comfy couch here right at the entrance. Huge TV screen in front of us. Of course, the patented Fern Pangaea tree right as you walk in with all the cans hanging off of it.
Exactly, decorated for Christmas and all that kind of jazz.
So what's kind of like the vibe the clientele is supposed to get as they walk through the door?
Well, Pangaea is a slowly kind of trying to build it out a little bit bigger. But for this, kind of a common area with a 67-inch TV. May I shamelessly plug. But yeah, so this is more of the common area, and I'm this area was not very much used when I first came in. There was a couple of picnic tables, like you were saying, and some people kind of sat around here. But with the advent of 67-inch TV, which always draws the eyes in, as well as this comfy couch, couple of chairs there at the table, I'm pleased to see that this has become kind of a nice communal area for people to come sit around and talk about. And in regards to changes to the tap room, we've added 4 taps onto that tap wall, with one of them being a nitro tap, which we now have a Schwartz beer on right now, which we can taste. It's
Okay.
delicious.
I like the sound of that. I love my Schwartz beers.
Exactly. And then no, we're always trying to make changes. So we got some big plans coming up 2023, especially for the tap room and the outside area, especially this area as well.
I did notice. I didn't necessarily count up all the tap tables, but I noticed the menu boards were a lot bigger.
Yes. yeah. So that way, it is indeed a full-time job trying to keep all those taps filled at all times, keep that entire board filled with beer. And I'm not sure if I don't know if we can even fit more tap handles on there, but if we could, we definitely will.
Let's talk about your location and easily accessible to, of course, downtown Greenville. It's right. You kind of like share this bike trail that goes through the Swamp Rabbit up to the Swamp Rabbit Trail, or part of the Swamp Rabbit Trail, I should say. So very easily accessible for bikers, hikers, joggers, that sort of thing to walk through and say, "Oh, a beer, let me stop in." So, like, what kind of offering does your location? How does that promote? Because when you first started, there was a lot of construction going on in this area. There's this huge park outside, like a gigantic playground, and that only got probably completed in the last 8 months or so, 6 months.
Yeah, I remember the opening of the park was a big deal for us, and that's why I was brought on at the time I was. Because when I came in for my interview, I remembered I walked in and I asked Steve. I went like, am I in the right place? Because it was just a big dirt patch out there.
A quarry.
Yeah, it was a quarry. There was fences up everywhere, heavy machinery moving around. So I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm in the just right area. But thankfully, that construction's been completed. As you can see, Unity Park's out there. It's probably one of the coolest parks I've seen in my life. But I mean, I haven't gone around to too many. But since the construction's died down, and the construction out there is also dying down, it's nice because with that Swamp Rabbit Trail, like you mentioned, you got runners, joggers, bikers, you got families just taking a nice stroll, and with a pizza place like we are in a brewery, what's not to love? Pizza and beer go together like peanut butter and jelly.
You don't need the combo just to sell friends on helping you move.
Exactly. So with that, yeah, a lot of our clientele are indeed people that come in off the trail, but also we do have a growing following of people. We have the Mug Club, which I think is a great deal. You get I can't remember exactly the price, but you get a mug, and then with that mug you get a free 4-pack every month. Ooh. And a free shirt, free keychain, stickers, all that kind of jazz. And for this year, or for this Mug Club, it's a liter. So patrons have the option of getting a half liter or the full liter. So got that going for us.
So what would you have to guess the percentage of the clientele is from coming from the park and off of downtown versus the percentage of clientele coming from the trail?
Now that is a fantastic question. I could throw some numbers at you. I would say, of course, that I'm no mathematician, no statistician, but I would probably say maybe about 65 coming off of that trail, and the other percentage coming in off of coming off just coming in out of town. You got a lot of tourists coming out here that are just brewery hopping. Because we have our brewery here, we have the brewery across southern side, across the bridge, and then up the trail there's Bird's Fly South, which I highly recommend if you ever get the chance out there. And then there's also Wandering Bard, which is a meadery, so not necessarily beer, but honey wine.
One time I was here, I did find out the little back row between them. I'm thinking, oh, this is so much easier to get over instead of having to go way over to the other side that Stone Ave.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
All right, well, I hope everyone's thirsty. Go enjoy some shots around Unity Park, and we'll come right back with Will and drink some beer, talk some beer.
Fantastic. Sounds great.
Back with Will from Pangaea, back where all the magic happens, in front of the brew house, and I'm sipping on that black lager we talked about before, the Schwartz beer.
Absolutely. How are you enjoying it?
It had a very, very noticeable, although not overpowering, chocolate aroma.
Yeah.
And mouth feels very nitro. It's got you get kind of like that creamy head off of it, and more sweet than roasty. So I guess that's probably the nitro effect versus as a regular fermented.
So with that one, it was we used Epiphany malts, and that is the roastedness of it. So with that one, to get the nitro effect, you kind of have to undercarb it, because if you do fully carbonate it, what you'll get is just all head, no break. But yeah, those nitro bubbles, them being a lot smaller than the CO2, do tend to give it a nice smoother mouthfeel. In regards to the sweetness, that could be anything from the mash-in temp. I believe we did mash in a little warmer. If you mash in a little warmer, it creates for a slightly sweeter beer at the end.
And so it was. So you had there was some kind of nitro effect applied while you were brewing it, not just in the taps.
No, for that one, you just low CO2 it. You put it on the nitro tap, and then you got to let it sit for a couple of days, because that'll pump that nitro into it, or that nitrogen into it, and it'll allow it to
Can't just go right from tank to glass.
No. There's you can always notice when something's a little too overcarbonated, because it just comes out in a big foamy mass.
I got a full pour behind me, but there's another sample you just poured for a minute ago, which is the Cocopelli. Cocopelli has always been like one of those imageries from my childhood that I love, like the southwestern, Native American kind of theme to that. So like, where do like the names come from for these beers? Is that something Steve just takes over, or does he kind of let you play a little bit with naming the beers?
So for the Cocopelli, the inspiration behind that, as sappy as it sounds, is my mom. Shout out to my mom. but she lives in Arizona. She is a a small little blonde woman. So I decided to ask her what kind of a beer she would enjoy. So she gave me a list of flavors she liked, and then I thought up a recipe for, or a flavor profile for that beer. So that's the end result. But because she lives out in the Southwest, I figured what better to name it than Coco Pally, the man, or the
Mischief maker.
the mischief maker, the fertility god, the bountiful god. So I thought, with a lot of lemon going in there, it's pretty bountiful, pretty plentiful. So why not give thanks to him?
Yeah, that's the other thing to me. Like, I smelled it, and it was very, very subtle. I could definitely pick up the lemon, but it took a couple sniffs. And the flavor, it hit sour, and then it started settled in, and I got more of the lemon.
Yeah. That beer's definitely gone through some changes. Even me tasting it when it was in the fermenter, it was incredibly sour, and it had that kind of lemony bitterness to it. But as we packaged it and let it kind of sit for a little bit before we put it on tap, that has definitely allowed it to mellow out and allowed the kind of sweetness of the lemon to come out, rather than taking a sip and just being instantly punched in the mouth with sour lemon. So,
because the lemon is pretty sour as naturally anyway.
oh, yeah. But
Let me grab this other one. Now, this is a style that historically has not always meshed well with my palate. West Coast IPAs, that the bitterness, the pineness, like it kind of like take a few sips and
yeah.
thought like, I'm gonna struggle to finish this one. But I think my palate's changing over the last few months, as people's palates do tend to change if they just drink copious amounts of beer.
Exactly.
So I'm starting to appreciate them more and more. Like, they really have to really punch me in the teeth for me not to like a West Coast lately.
Yeah, so West Coasts are kind of that style amongst IPA drinkers, that there's a lot of people love them, but a lot of, like, just an equal amount absolutely hate them because of what you were saying. You'll take that first sip, it'll be that nice kind of grapefruit forward fruitiness, and then right after that it's just a bunch of hot bitterness. And some people really enjoy that, and other people just are like, I can't even look at it right now without it leaving a terrible aftertaste in my mouth. So for this one, we attempted to make it very approachable, as you were saying yourself. How you say you don't typically drink West Coast, but you said this one indeed wasn't bad. It was good.
It is, like, the bitterness is there, but it's kind of like in the middle of the palate. It's not too strong. The aroma smells bready to me, which is interesting to me for a West Coast. And then the flavor, when I took the little sample you poured from it, I got a little bit of a spice note to it, but I'm not getting that now. Now I'm just kind of getting more of that piney, resinous type of hop flavor to it. So now that whatever that was that I tasted before, that kind of dissipated. So maybe the more approachable in this kind of like threw me for a loop at first, because maybe I kind of inceptioned myself. But yeah, it's definitely had more of a unique aroma, a little bit bready, and then the flavor is more traditional West Coast, but just subtle and approachable.
Yeah. So that's one of the beers that Steve and I have decided to start distributing. Yeah, so we had our kind of flagship IPA, which is the Valhalla. It's a juicy IPA, very citrus forward, orange, a little bit of lemon. So with this one, we decided to, if we're going to distro it, we got to at least, and we're putting our name on it. You gotta make it something that people will enjoy, and people will not look at it or not have it, see the name Pangaea and be like, oh, well, I'm never going there. I'm never going there, because that beer was awful. So that's the result.
We didn't talk about the name. It's called the Kraken. So it's a good segue about the distro. You very much released the Kraken.
we did release the Kraken, much like Zeus and oh gosh, what is it? Clash of the Titans. Yes, we're trying to kind of get our name out there, kind of branch out into newer markets, especially in the upstate, which is it's going. We're slowly moving, slowly getting out there.
I live in Lexington, so I wouldn't mind seeing some Pangaea down in the Midlands, Columbia area too.
We've actually, funny enough, you mentioned Columbia. We did have a woman who sent us an email, a very nice email, saying that she had the Valhalla in a bar out there, and she's like, I don't even like beer, I don't even like IPAs, but the Valhalla, I really enjoyed that. So the fact that she took time to email us about that, I was, it brings a little tear in my eye,
Yeah.
It's always a good thing.
Valhalla's interesting because the last time I talked with Steve, he described the Valhalla as a flagship, and the first flagship IPA I know of from Pangaea was Clever Girl.
Yes.
So, and Clever Girl that was the first name I saw that rang true to me with the name Pangaea, because Original Continent, Dinosaurs, Clever Girl, Velociraptor, Jurassic Park, where I'm going now.
Exactly.
So, where is that, mesh of flagship IPA then between Clever Girl and Valhalla? Which one's kind of taking top dollar?
In all the numbers, and I'm not the guy looking at the Excel spreadsheet of the numbers. I just know the numbers because right behind us we have my keg washing station, and after the weekend I'll come in and see how many half barrels we have back here, and it's usually the amount of Valhalla to the amount of any other beer it's always about 3-1. So that I know I know Valhalla is the top seller because of that, and we had Clever Girl for maybe 2 months before it ran out. So again, that one, if we had him in a head-to-head contest, that would be a close one, I will say.
All right. Help me if my math's not correct. I'm looking up at the tap menu. 20?
You got me stumped. That's, I believe it's 20.
I think I was counting 5 columns and 4 rows.
Yes, yes. I can't believe that. I'm the one that works here.
We won't tell Steve.
I don't work in the tap room. I just work in the back. Yes.
Sometimes he gets let out of his cage.
Yeah, every now and again they'll come back here with a cattle prod, make me go and show my face. But no. Yes, 20 tabs. 20 tabs.
Okay, so out of those 20, how many have you had full creative license to make your own, and how many were still Steve's babies?
I can only take full credit for one beer. It's not up on the tap anymore. It sold out very well. We made a 7.5 barrel batch of a pre-prohibition cream ale. The pre-prohibition just means that we used more corn in the mash than
Volstead.
Yes, yeah. And the name Volstead comes from the Volstead Act, which I'm a history major, I can't even remember it, but the Volstead Act pretty much allowed for prohibition to come into full play. So I was able to, of course with Steve's help, Steve helped me kind of formulate the recipe. We made that, and then we split it to where we racked off 3.5 barrels of the pure Volstead, and then we dosed the other half with honey that we got from Wandering Bard. Shout out to Wandering Bard for that. So we did some orange blossom honey, a little bit of lemongrass, and I think that was it. I believe that was it. But they sold, to my very, very much pleasure, it sold out very quickly. And we also have people asking for the Honey Bjorn, which means Honey Bear, to come back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the Volstead was the base, and then the Honey Bear or the Honey Bjorn was the dosed half of that.
Now there's often I don't necessarily want to call it a promotion, but something special you do in the tap rooms lately, historically I should say, not lately. And that of course is a cask.
Yes.
On Freaky Fridays?
Yeah, the Funky Fridays.
Funky Fridays, yes, I apologize. Funky Fridays.
No, yeah. So the Funky Fridays, we
can't copyright that Freaky Friday. Funky Fridays. Don't ban me, YouTube.
Funky Fridays. So the Funky Fridays, we've taken kind of a pause on that.
It's sad.
It is sad, but with the distribution ramping up and some changes going on within the tap room, and kind of trying to get a bigger social media presence, we've been kind of focusing on that rather than doing that. And me, coming back here, trying to keep these fermenters full at all times. So we've put a pause on that. It should be coming back next year, 2023. And I don't think it's going to be a cask anymore because it's difficult to keep it cold, difficult to keep it carbonated, and so a lot of people just didn't like it because it was room temp and it was flat. But me,
I love the cast. So good.
So me, being able to visit family in the UK, when I first started actually being able to drink over there, that was it, room temp ale. So I'm a big fan of it. I'm a sucker for it. I love lukewarm beer. But yes, when we do it next year and going on with that, we have a couple of small corny kegs that we'll be able to fill with beer, douse with whatever ingredients and adjuncts we need, and we'll be able to keep it cold and carbonated. So.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thank you very much, Chase.
Beer's the base of Pangaea, but there's some scrumptious delights too, so why don't we say I get some food in my belly and talk about some other offerings here at Pangaea.
I'm actually the new guy in this kitchen. I came here in October. Hussein's been holding it down the longest, so he'd be the most ideal guy to be spinning dough right now. Yeah, that's two, but it's a third one that I'm going to throw through the air conditioner. All right. Forger is a unique pizza in that it doesn't have a ton of sauce. It's truffle oil. And that truffle oil smells so good. Got some shredded mozzarella cheese to go on top of that. Top it with our wild mushrooms. That's oyster mushrooms, shiitake, and cremini. Potatoes, marinating them in house. Garlic, basil, shallots. Everything delicious. That smell, wafting it up in there. That's the seller right there. That's how we sell pizzas. Now, with me not being a pizza guy, my background, I didn't realize that this was actually going to be the hardest part of my job, is cutting real perfect slices of pizza. Hit it with some breadcrumbs, soak up those nice juices, a little bit of honey, a little bit of lemon juice, and a little bit of olive oil. With a pinch of salt, give that a little toss. I'm we got our arugula salad that goes on top. Last but not least, fresh off the block. Hit it with a little bit of Peck Romano. No such thing as too much. And then it's usual. Pizza!
Back with more from Pangaea, and as you saw, we just put together a nice little pizza, or rather Charlie did.
Yeah, good times.
Charlie, how you doing, and what's your ties to Pangaea, the operations here at Pangaea?
Doing all right today. It's another lovely cold winter day, so you can't complain there. My background with Pangaea is actually I own and operate a food truck here out in Greenville, the Black Tie. We had a time in July where the truck broke down, and I needed a place to work, so I came out to Pangaea and met the crew out here, and me and Steve decided that it was a good fit, so we decided to make this the permanent spot for Black Tie, and I came in. Now I'm running the pizza kitchen and the food truck out of here.
Okay, I was gonna ask that because I knew Black Tie is a name I'm aware of because there's a Instagram page that kind of collaborates all the local food trucks where they're going to be and that sort of thing. Absolutely. So I know the name Black Tie, and I had previously spoken to Steve about the relationship between Pangaea and Black Tie, and I was under the impression it was just kind of a mutual thing, but you are stationed out of here.
Yes.
I did not know that backstory about the truck having its issues.
Yeah, so this is now our commissary kitchen. We do all our prep out of here. We park the truck here, and then every once in a while, whenever we need a spot to go, we'll actually serve the truck here. But for the most part, we're doing what we do best. We're getting wheels rolling, getting out to Greenville, and spreading the love via food.
Awesome. So as the viewers just saw a little while ago, I don't want to let this pizza get too cold, so why don't you explain what you just served up here?
So this is our one of our signature pizzas at Pangaea. It's called the Forager. It's a truffle oil base, mozzarella cheese, our wild mushrooms, it's cremini, oysters, and shiitake mushrooms, and then marinated tomatoes. Throw it in the oven, get that nice little crisp cook on it, bring it out, and then we top it with breadcrumbs, an arugula salad, and Peck Romano cheese.
Oh.
It's all things delicious.
Let's dig in, shall we?
Absolutely. Snag it, grab it, and growl.
Folks, it's hard to do with a microphone in your hand.
He's a professional.
Could see if anyone up north is looking, I'll give the eye test to that nice little char on the bottom.
Oh, they're getting all of that.
Yeah. First thing I got was the aroma of that Peck Romano right up my nose when I brought it up.
It's a good starter.
The leaf, there's a lot of greens on this pie, but it balances it well.
Absolutely.
So there's also a lot of oils and grease in there too.
Yeah, that's what those breadcrumbs on there are good for, soaking up all that flavor and making that the truffle oil and the moisture from the mushrooms a little bit more manageable for a slice bite.
What are some of your favorite veggies to put on pizza? Because people usually like to expect the meat lovers pizza. You throw your bacon on there, you throw your sausage, you throw your ground beef, your meatballs, all that stuff. So what kind of veggies do you think really elevate a pie?
I'm all about the mushrooms. I mean, that's going on. Anything I'm making for myself in the back when I'm on my way out the door, it's getting some mushrooms on it for sure. You get that extra bit of flavor in there that no other vegetable can really bring. That's my go-to for sure.
Now, Steve's originally from the north, so when he brought you guys on and imparted the style of the pie here, did he make it very clear that this needs to be comparable to northern pie?
Oh, absolutely. When I came into Pangaea, I'm coming in as the original thought as a chef. I don't want to cook someone else's food. I want to cook something else. I want to do my own thing. Tried these pizzas and I was like, I ain't changing a damn thing. Delicious. Steve really nailed it with these pies. The flavors, everything is on point. It's the easiest part of my job. Not touch that menu at all.
What's the craziest pizza you've had on the menu here, whether by your own design, by Steve's, or something that was already existing?
So every week we throw out a special pie. We like to usually just go off the wall with it. We've had a spinach artichoke dip pizza that was really banging. We had a garlic sausage pizza, called it the Dracula during Halloween. That one was a top seller. And we recently just threw out a prosciutto pizza that was, oh man, you missed out. That would be sitting in front of us right now if we had that one on special for sure.
There's a buddy of mine up north, and this video ever gets to him, he knows he's the nickname, the prosciutto machine.
Oh, man, the prosciutto machine out here. See how many of these pizzas we can eat.
So what went on the prosciutto machine? What went on the prosciutto pie, I should say. Sorry, I'm getting my themes mixed up here.
I think, no, that's the new name of it. It's the prosciutto machine now. It was sun-dried tomatoes, prosciutto, arugula, and balsamic vinaigrette with a light red sauce, a little bit of mozzarella cheese in there. It was pretty simple. You don't want to mess around with. When you got that prosciutto, you let that take over.
Almost sounds like a caprese salad with prosciutto on it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's something I'm learning about pizza. Is I've never done it in my past, but this is my first experience with creating pizzas. It's like, what do I like to eat? Like, tacos. Like, throw it on a pizza. It's simple. You don't have to be too crazy with it. Just find things that you like and find a way to make it a pizza.
So I'm going to separate myself another slice here.
Absolutely.
And I'm going to mange on that. And pizza, of course, is the bread and butter of the sustenance offerings here at Pangaea. But, well, whoop. Ooh, losing some greens.
We can get you a fork.
What else is? Oh no. What else is on the menu? If for some reason people want something a little bit lighter, maybe they're by themselves, they can't devour pizza by themselves. I have no problem with that. But
absolutely.
What are some of the other food options here in the kitchen?
Fantastic salads here as well. A kale Caesar salad, which you don't see that too often, using the kale. We have an apple salad that's got apples, candied pecans on bib lettuce with pickled tomatoes, feta cheese, and purple cabbage, and shallot vinaigrette on that one. That's fantastic. And then we you got to throw out the breadsticks, and we got the cinnamon bites for the kids after dinner too. So we got a few different things. I saw your ears prick up on those cinnamon bites, and I have to get one of those in the oven going right now.
So what was, prior to, of course, this relationship coming together, what was Black Tie's food style before you synced up with Steve and Pangaea?
So that's the glory of it. Is the Black Tie is similar to the Pizza Kitchen. It's got a menu that didn't have to change it at all once we came here. It's we call it, it's like an American Asian fusion, basically. Ameritai is what we call it, but we go all over with it. We've got a burger that's ground beef, ground duck, ground bacon on an English muffin bun with Munster cheese and our house bolo sauce, which is kind of like our take on a Japanese white sauce, and we top it with crispy shishito peppers. That's definitely a top seller. We have crispy Brussels sprouts with a honey ponzu sauce tossed with bacon and white rice. And then a pad thai fried rice that another just top
Nice.
seller. Absolutely. We found when you're working on the truck, it's a little bit difficult working with the noodles unless you got to do that right. So we found a way to work a fried rice into it, and those flavors it works.
If you had a top 3 of items that you could sell Steve on as far as incorporating into the menu in the new year, what would those 3 items be?
Basically, those 3 I just said, you're right there. Those Brussels sprouts, they actually got us the 3rd prize on Silver Spoon Award at Fall for Greenville last year.
Okay.
So those ones are proven. We were nominated the best burger in the upstate 3 years back. So that burger is standalone. It's awesome. And then just to throw something different out, we also have a broccoli salad that we make. That one could fit in here really well. It's like a broccoli slaw with craisin, sunflower seeds, shallots, cilantro, and a peanut butter vinaigrette.
So you can cater a menu to all different sorts of dietary preferences or restrictions, not just your typical meat crowd, but also vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian crowd as well.
For sure, we have a slammin' yellow curry on the menu right now that is vegan and gluten-free as well. So anytime we've got someone who is looking for that direction, first question I asked them was like, "Do you like spicy?" If they say yes, I'm like, I got you. We got this yellow curry, and it is unbelievable.
Hussein just popped up to the window. You want to pop on the show, good sir?
Hey,
What I'm saying is he doesn't have to. He lets his foods talk for him. This is our breadstick right here.
Oh, wow. Look at all that cheese on there.
The cheese. I mean, I know you're smelling that garlic coming off of it. It's unreal. It's so good. And that's Hussein. Like I said, Hussein doesn't have to say anything. He lets his cooking talk for him.
I can see that. All right, let's, before we wrap up and move on to the end of the show, let's do a little cross knowledge. What on your menu would you pair with some of Pangaea's top beers?
So
let's start off with Valhalla.
I will get with the Valhalla. For me, when I'm thinking beer and our food, I'm always throwing out something spicy because I know you got that spicy food, gets people drinking beer, then you're eating the food, then you're going back for the spicy to subside that tongue burning. So I'm going with the yellow curry on the Valhalla.
Okay. What do you pair with the Orange Tiger?
Orange Tiger. I'm going to go ahead and use those citrusy flavors from the Orange Tiger to work with the pad thai. The pad thai fried rice has a slice of lime on it. You squeeze that on there. Maybe even just get a little Orange Tiger, flick it into the pad thai. I don't know. Go crazy with it.
Last two. Let's go out of the box with both of them. One of them just went over with Will, the name inspiration behind the Cocopelli lemon tart ale. What are you pairing with a tart lemon beer? The Cocopelli.
I'm going with the Brussels on that tart lemon and that charred Brussels taste. They work well together. It kind of gives that, mellows everything out both ways.
And super out of the box. What's going to pair well with that Nitro Schwartz beer?
Now I'm just going to have to go with the ticket machine. for the Nitro, I'm throwing out the burger and fries. I mean, just don't overthink it. Just rock and roll.
Something that just can go well with anything, and just clean, sweet, and scrumptious and delectable on a burger.
You got with the Nitro, you got a bunch of levels with that burger, the duck, the bacon, the beef, all just in the patty alone. It's got a lot of different levels on it. I think they work well together.
Awesome, Charlie. Thanks for talking to me. This pizza's delicious. I will have no problem finishing this.
Absolutely.
Final words before we wrap up from Pangaea.
I appreciate you coming out and giving us an opportunity to showcase what we got going on here. It's always a pleasure.
Black Tie, Pangaea, match made in heaven. Stay tuned. We'll wrap up here from the south side of Greenville at Pangaea. Wrap it up here from Pangaea with Casey and Nick. Events coordinator, taproom manager. So let's talk a little bit. Give the audience some preview of what's to come in early 2023. Events, fun things you're doing in the tap room, anything to get excited about the Pangaea brand going forward in the new year.
Yeah, I can start. Hi, I'm Casey. I'm the event coordinator here at Pangaea. We're really excited about January. We're doing a huge salad. We have 8 different salad options that you can come in, and we'll have punch cards, so you can try each salad for a punch card. And I can't think on the top of my head, but we have like apple and blue cheese. Yeah, strawberry, mango. Definitely come out and try those. We're excited about that. And the last weekend in January, we're going to do a throw in the towel event. So people can come in with their punch cards, and if they try all 8 salads, or even one salad, one punch is one free topping for a huge monster burger that we're doing. Some fried food, all of it, yeah. So throwing the towel is basically for throwing those New Year's resolutions. We're having a big party here. We're going to have some morning yoga. Follow the Instagram account to sign up and stuff for the future. But yeah, some exciting stuff.
It's a lot of food things. So how's this massive burger going to work out? Is it going to be like so massive that there's almost like a prize to finish it?
It'll be, I think, a huge thing that everyone's gonna get like a cut out of it, like a piece of it or something, right?
Yeah, it's still in the works, but we may do like a challenge, like if you finish the burger, a beer, and like a pizza or something. They're figuring out some fun stuff to do for that. Yeah.
Nick, what here pours lately in the last few months, or overall? What pours the best off the taps?
Probably the Fest beer. We're almost out of that one. We've had it since Oktoberfest event just ended back in early September, October. That one, and my personal favorite is probably the Koss Lager. We have that one in a really big serving tank for a while, and now we got them in some kegs, so we're kind of running through those. That's my personal favorite. Drink it as my shift beer all the time.
So lighter beer. So would that imply that like the clientele is a lot less experimental with trying some crazy stuff? They just want those light sippers, or do you generally see like people walking in and they want the crazy beers with all the wacky adjuncts and that sort of thing too?
It's a little bit more half and half. I think most people when they come in, they're usually coming in off the trail, so they're not really looking for something that's gonna make them not want to walk back to wherever they're coming from. So that's why they'll stick with like the lighter stuff. But like on the weekends when people are kind of just out like with their friends and family and stuff, they'll get the IPAs or get the heavier stouts and whatnot, especially since it's colder now, so you want those things that kind of warm you up a little bit more.
Casey, I spoke to Will a little bit about this before. How does making events work, scheduling events, how does that, how much of a benefit, I should say, is it to having the Swamp River Trail right there? Does that kind of make things easier to kind of get people in the door to come to larger scale events?
Yeah, definitely. So we had a couple weeks ago, we had a holiday vendors market, and we hosted it outside and we advertised it. We had it in our social accounts and stuff. But just having that trail, people walking by the day of, seeing, like what are these tents? What are these stuff going on? It's a huge, and also like people come in from the front, but even like people in the commons and stuff, they just walk on the trail normally, not even if we have events on that. So that's definitely where we get a lot of foot traffic and stuff.
What's each of your token beer of choice?
Right now, it's between the Valhalla if I'm going something IPA like, or like I said earlier, the Koss Lager is nice and light, easy drinking.
I'm a sour beer girl. I love the peach cobbler, or even the Little Lad. That's really good too.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
silly me, I wasn't even holding it this whole time.
The peach cobbler.
Nick just poured this for me. So this is fairly new, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just released that one, I think 2 weeks ago. That one and the Little Lad, which is a blackberry and cream goza, or cream sour, more or less. But they're both very popular now because we had a sour beforehand, and then we finally kicked that one. So there was probably like a couple weeks where we didn't have one, and everyone's still kind of on that sour train. So they were definitely asking for it, so we gave it to them.
Yeah.
All right, self-proclaimed sour girl. Which one are you taking, the peach cobbler or the Little Lad?
I gotta go peach cobbler. That's definitely my favorite. Yeah.
Very peachy, very thick, but still kind of light.
Yeah.
Nice and easy.
Well, thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah.
We're going to wrap up and toss off air. Final word, of course, to the guests.
Come in and check us out. We'll be here every day except for Mondays.
Also, too, we have our trivia every Wednesday. Each week is a different theme. I run it, so come by on Wednesday nights, too, have some trivia and say hi. And, yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. As always, folks, if you like what you saw, smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell so exactly when my videos drop. And no more reviews, as well as the occasional feature with some fine folks around South Carolina that I can make the excuse to put some miles on the car and find.
Wait, that was a okay, wait, I'm nervous.
Wrap it up here from Pangaea. Yeah. Sorry, words.
Hello. Wait, can I redo that?